Hello, namaskar and good evening and a very warm welcome to all our viewers in NCERT's live interactive session. This is Simran Singh and you are all watching us on PM eVidya channel number 6 to 12. Viewers, you can also connect with us through our different mediums. That is, you are watching this session live on NCERT Official, that is our YouTube channel. So in case if you have any queries, any doubts, any feedback for us, then do feel free to write down to us in the comment section of NCERT Official. Once again, I would like to take this moment to welcome all our viewers in our special series on Cyber Jagrookta Diwas. As you all know, that to deal with cyber crimes in a coordinated and comprehensive manner, the Ministry of Home Affairs has implemented a scheme that is known as the Indian Cyber Crime Coordination Center. And in order to create awareness regarding cyber safety, cyber security among students, teachers, parents, administrators, it is proposed that the first Wednesday of every month would be observed as Cyber Jagrookta Diwas. Today we are conducting this session on Friday. And for the month of August 2022, the broader theme that we are going to discuss is safe digital gaming. Now I know that with the term gaming, you all must come up with certain ideas, certain instances that you have come across. So don't forget to share them with us. So today the area that we are going to discuss is digital games and the risk and the ways to combat. So obviously it is going to be a productive session for all the students, especially adolescents who are fond of digital games. So do not miss this session, and providing us more guidance with us in the studio we have Dr. Surbhi Pandey. Namaskar ma'am.
Namaskar Simran.
Good evening.
Good evening, and
a very warm welcome to you in the session.
Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me, and especially for this program where we're talking about Cyber Surakshit Bharat. And especially, yes, along with I4C MHA, we started with this concept of Jagrookta Diwas, that is we are observing on every Wednesday of month. And IAPA is taking a lot of collaborative work along with the I4C, doing a lot of awareness programs, especially strengthening the cyber ecosystem. So yes,
we'll be discussing more about that in detail.
Yeah.
But please allow me to introduce you to our viewers as well.
Go ahead, please.
Surbhi ma'am is currently serving as Assistant Professor at Indian Institute of Public Administration in New Delhi. And you know the different mediums through which you can connect with us. Here is a contact number that is flashing on your screens. You can give us a call at 8800-440-559 and also a mail ID specifically meant for cyber safety. Again, you can see it on your screen, cyberSafety@ciet.nic.in. So ma'am, I'm pretty sure that in today's session we have a lot to learn and explore.
Yes,
obviously. So why not get started?
Yeah, because the topic is very exciting.
Yes.
And especially when I'm talking to the kids, adolescent and the teenage, and especially after a lot of digital transformation and COVID, we got a lot of time, to get involved in this digital medium. And today when you have picked up this topic of gaming, right? That's a gaming, and it has all aggravated immediately after 2015, and especially in the COVID time. Why so? There are a lot of reasons. Because the internet penetration has also gone up. Yes, and if we can see the mobile phones, right?
Yeah.
So it is very economical. So when we have, economical mobile phones.
Easily accessible.
Accessibility is there. So it is not just the urban population, the kids there in the rural areas also started accessing this smartphones. So once you have this digital device in your hand, right? You have so much to explore, and one of this exploration is the gaming.
Of course.
So that is what, and we will discuss about that, what should we do with that, because gaming, when I say, it is a skilling also. So we have a lot of debate, that where we should keep a bracket that this skilling should not be converted into an addiction. So
we need to feel that difference.
Yes, that is a difference that as a teacher, as a parent, as a student, as a kids, we have to understand that if we're exploring this digital medium, for playing or to, having that skill set, especially the skill set I'm talking about. Why? Because we encourage our kids to play crosswords, right? Puzzle games, Sudokus, right? So many mathematical games are there. So we encourage them because somewhere it is developing our logical mind also. Right? But on the other hand, it shouldn't be converted into an addiction, especially when I'm talking about certain games. I'm sure everyone had heard about this Blue Whale games and the incident which took place.
Yeah. The unfortunate incident followed by that.
Yes. And thereafter a lot of, you can see there is a trend has changed from your, I don't want to take a name, but yes, definitely PUBG, which is a known name, and the Line of Control and Fire Free. So many games are there. Even in the female, you can see this what do you call Candy Crush and all, so many games are very popular, right? But nevertheless, the games are there, but we should keep a bracket that where are we, and we should not cross that limit. If it is only up to the skilling, if it is only for the limited, social activities, collaboration, if that is limited to that much, it is okay. So that is what is the emphasis. Any questions?
So that is the area that we are going to discuss today. So of course we'll take the questions in the later segment of our session, but in the beginning let's discuss more about the topic itself.
Okay. So if you just see, I'll give small highlights on the statistics part, right? So the gaming industry in India is basically, we are actually moving ahead of $182 billion in, this is expected by 2025. And if I just see the users in India, right, we are crossing about 800 users, millions users in India. It means that out of, if we have a good internet users in India, it is that 35% of internet users are playing games. Just imagine 35% is a big number when I'm talking about the gaming playing users in India. So that is a statistic which we have to understand, because it is now connected with so many things that the gaming market has also scaled up from 1.1 billion to 2.80. So the game market is also going up. Along with that, we have the gamers who are playing it. So now we have 35% gamers after the internet penetration and smartphones and all those things. So it has a direct correlation, internet usage, with the gaming industry. Now when I talk about any average Indian who are playing a game, now what is that behind, what is the driving force behind it? That is how they are introduced to the online gaming. It is to the friends, family, or to the peer pressure also. So that is the driving force behind the gamers. And mostly they engage into this activities by, you can say stress relief, social interaction, maybe their choice is puzzles, they wanted to play any adventurous games, the battlefields and all. So many driving things are there in the mind.
Maybe just to pass out our leisure time.
Yeah, that is there. But somewhere, especially the male candidates, their mindset is different. They wanted to get it into that action.
That competition, the aggressiveness
and the action-based games.
Yeah.
So therefore, the choice is slightly different when we talk about the male and the female category. And when we're talking about gamings, internet penetration, digital transformation, other things, then the very important concept is demographic things, which we have to see in terms of the male and female. What are their choice and preferences? If you just see the females, they are more into that puzzles, right? Action is more preferred by the males, then the sports more preferred by the male again. So likewise, based on the preferred choice, we have actually divided this gaming also. And what are the channels for playing or downloading these games? So most of the games they have download from the app distribution. And I always say that you should go for a very authorized, app stores, like we have Google Play, Amazon, Apple, right? So download our games from an authorized store also. Then, yes, when we're talking about gamings, we have three different gamings. One is the mobile, computer, and the console. So when I'm talking about this mobile and the computer, you should use a very authorized, website to going through any mobile games. If you are in Facebook or in other social media also, we have this gaming platform. So people get it into that by the social media platform also. They also get it through that console. I'm sure everyone heard about this PlayStation, Xbox, right? So they get it into that console gaming also. These are the different channels through which people downloads the game. And here is the most favorite slide, I'm sure, of the kids when they see PUBG on the top and the Free Fire and so many other games which is in the list, Call of the Duty. And when we're talking about the gamings, right, where to download, what are the games, right, there are the risks associated with the digital games also. Now what are those risks? Especially when I talk to the parents, they have a lot of apprehension. And they raise the question that, ma'am, our kids are mostly into the gamings, They are especially, not going to any other outside activities, all the time on the mobile phones. I'm really fed up. What to do? What is the remedy? And all sort of questions come to us. And most of the time, the consultant also, they talk to us whenever there is a cyber crime related to the gaming. Yeah. And especially in today's time, you can see a lot of incident happen related to the cyber crime in the gaming part. And that is not just a crime, but it has converted into the criminal part, right? So somewhere we have to understand the psychological aspect of this gaming also, that too much of time given to that game, somewhere we are heading towards the addiction, crossing the levels. They get it into it and they wanted to perform well. And to enhance the performance, they started, doing a lot of R&D with their mobile phones also. They boost up their performance level by the settings. There are a lot of settings in the mobile phones. They take another apps to boost their performance, cross one level to another level. And that levels, they started purchasing so many things. So let's say, if I crossed one level, and to be very competitive, they become very competitive, playing from one level to another. And then they started, procuring and purchasing arms, weapons.
You have to unlock those weapons, those candidates.
Yes, so they wanted to be like that, gunman and the fire, they want that weapons also. So they started purchasing, and with that purchasing, if our parents are not aware of what they are doing exactly, a lot of time is going, intention, addiction and psychological pressure, which is again converting into the criminal intention. Actually, so many crimes are happening because of this. So that is the one risk. Another risk to our kids and especially the young lot, the teenage, they are not aware whom they are talking. So when they are playing online, they are not aware whom they are talking, and they disclose their identity also. At times we have this game taggers. When you tag, as a tagger, the game as a tag, you disclose your identity. So when you disclose your identity, the other people may misuse it. Identity theft, which we generally say, right? Whom you are talking, what information you disclose, what kind of things you are, online taking or purchasing. From there, you also redirect it to some other link also. So those are the things which we have to be very careful about. Another important risk is when we're talking about when we're playing online, especially the gamer community in online, they open their cameras also, right? It's not just, if we are just limited to our confined group of gaming, I know whom I'm playing. But if you're going in a big way, worldwide you're playing, right? So you are going in this network, and whom you're playing, whom you're talking, you don't know the identity of other person and the intention. So that can be misused. What precaution we should take so that our authenticity and the safety remain intact.
And at the same time, ma'am, I think we can never be so sure what is there on the other side of the table. That person is so unknown to us, and when we are in this realm of gaming, it is open to everyone.
Everyone, and that is what is the vulnerability.
Yeah.
So that is the vulnerability when I'm open to the world, and I really don't know whom I'm talking, right? Who is watching me, and what data, what image can be misused, and if my camera is also on, right? What is being captured? What can be misused later on? So those are the things, are the risk associated with the gaming society also. So that is with the online, but when I'm talking offline, it is more related to the addiction, right? And that addiction is something that I wanted to be best, I wanted to play. I'm sure you must have heard about so many games, the pokers, to so many games where the people started losing money, just to cross the level. That winning spirit somewhere, is वो बोलते हैं ना, आप जीतने के चक्कर में काफी कुछ गवाने भी लगते हैं.
That is a human tendency.
Yes.
Whenever we are doing something, say even a simple task, we want to be best at it. And when it's about competition, so everybody wants to be the first one.
Absolutely. So वो जो आपकी एक winning spirit होती है, that winning spirit sometime converted into that, and may land up in any kind of a incident, right, which we reported into the cybercrime also. So moving ahead, I would also like to share certain incident, which is happening across India. Like in various city, we started reporting a lot of crimes, whether it is a Jaipur to Chhattisgarh, right, to Mumbai, to Delhi, a 19-year-old who killed family just because of the addiction of online games. So you can understand the severity of this gaming as a gamer, right? If it is just limited to the skilling, that's okay. But if it is converted into addiction, you may see, in India across, you can find so many cases are happening. Like in Chhattisgarh, woman files a cybercrime fraud after sons buys a weapons, which is online. He started buying that weapons, and that cost around 3.2 lakhs. In Mumbai also, a teen killed self, and could be the first Indian case of blue whales, which is known to everyone. So that is the severity and the risk associated with the online gaming and the digital game. Another thing I would like to hear is we are entering into this 3D world and the metaverse. a different world where crimes need to be defined differently, right? So the metaverse is where you are in the complete virtual reality and you really don't know whom you're talking, and there is no law so far. There is no way to define the crimes there in the virtual reality world. How you're going to handle those kind of crimes? We already started, reporting crimes in that metaverse also. There are avatars, and the avatars are doing a lot of crimes with each other, and how you're going to control those avatars in that VR is going to be very challenging. So few, news I thought I must share with you, that we have to understand the gaming and the risk associated. Nevertheless, we have also seen there are states, they are coming up with the regulation on this gaming part also. So many cases, so many things are happening across India. It is just few cases which I am highlighting here. The purpose is not that giving a threat, the purpose is awareness, that look, this is now, going beyond limit, that how this is converted into a criminal intention, and what checks are there in our hands, especially when I'm talking about a responsible teacher, as a parent. What is our contribution, how we are going to control this, that we should need to understand.
And with this, I also remember a case I was reading just the other day in a newspaper, that once there was this parent who tried to control a child and take away or snatch away their mobile phone when they were playing games. And the reaction of the child was quite violent, harmful, I should say.
Must be, because you have taken away the most favorite.
They were trying to snatch it, and there are certain things that I have just seen in front of myself, and being not from that generation particularly, I think it is also about the boon and the bane related to technologies.
Absolutely, you can say it is boon and ban also, but we need to understand that so many things are changing. Right? Initially, that we wanted to spend some time, I'm so free. So what is the best way? So
we movie phone pe.
Yes, to socialize, and the gaming is one of the concept in that socializing, right? And with that socializing, somewhere, that face-to-face socializing, getting into the ground and playing is somewhere taking a backseat. So that is what is happening, and most of the time we see that people is on their digital devices, whether it's a computer or a mobile phone, playing all the time, and we don't have any check and control what they are seeing there, right? And they are so naive, they are not aware that from one click where they are going to land up. So that is what is the vulnerability which is associated in the digital world.
We still have around half an hour to go in the session. We have certain questions that we might include in the later segment of the session.
Whichever way, I'm ready to take now also.
Okay, so we have one of those questions over here. Once a child is addicted to a game, is there any way of going back? Now the harm has already been done, the ship has sailed. Now the question is, I think it's a really significant question. Now something as wrong may have happened to the child. Now what is the way to rescue that child?
I think this is, I must appreciate for the question also, and this is the most asked question whenever we talk about the digital game per se, because when the kid and when this, the teenage people especially cross this gaming to the addiction, right, especially a concern of the parents in the society, that how it slowly and gradually it's get converted, and what is the way out to taking them back, right? So there are many ways. Generally we say, the digital detox is very important. That digital detox is what we have to understand, that at times, we have to check and control that how much time a kid is spending on the digital device, right? And what is the preferred choice, right? We need to deviate their mind from that digital device to the other, activities also. We should have a monitoring that how much time he is spending, or he and she is spending on the studies, going out, talking to the parents and to others also, face to face, socializing also. So that is what we have to check and control, that how much time someone is spending on the other activities also. If it is not, that is curtailed and devoted into this digital game, then how much that screen time, right? What all things somebody is watching, then we have to control that. What is the other things along with that, because we have something called as parental control, right? So you can check and balance of everything, that what your kid is watching, how much time you have spent, right? And if it is going beyond the limit, then you have to take certain precaution here, engage your kids in other activities, take them back to their school studies, face-to-face interaction, taking them out. Those outdoor games are very important. So we have to take them and channelize. That is, a digital detox is important.
Don't you think that it also deals with the age group? For example, when we are talking to tiny toddlers, so मतलब ऐसा कहा जाता है ना कि छोटे बच्चे जो होते हैं वो मिट्टी के घड़े जैसे होते हैं, जैसे भी हम उन्हें बदल दें
वो वैसे ही ढल जाते हैं.
बट व्हेन वी टॉक पर्टिकुलरली अबाउट एडोलेसेंस, किशोरावस्था में जब हम बात करते हैं बच्चों की, और आप अगर उन्हें रोकने की कोशिश करो किसी चीज से, so it gets more tougher and tougher for the parents, and ultimately what happens, that bond between the child and the parent, somehow it is
यहाँ पे बहुत ही मतलब मैं कह सकती हूँ एक ऐसी बात कही है जिससे मैं एक चीज़ों को भी रिलेट कर पा रही हूँ. मैं अपने बचपने में जब याद करती हूँ तो मेरे माँ बाप ने मुझे, पेरेंट्स ने जिस तरीके से अपब्रिंगिंग की, तो उसमें डिजिटल कॉन्सेप्ट ज़्यादा नहीं था, इंटरेक्शन ज़्यादा था. आज हम देखते हैं कि माँ बाप यदि बच्चों को
रोकने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं.
इट्स नॉट रोकने की, जो फर्स्ट लेवल ऑफ एजुकेशन है, दैट राइम्स, प्लेइंग्स एंड ऑल, इट स्टार्टेड विद, दे स्टार्टेड शोइंग यू दैट ऑन द डिजिटल डिवाइस, the poems, right, the rhymes and everything. So the journey, A letter is coming in the tablet, right? For us it is A on the sheet.
So once they press it and it's A, B, C.
So they born with the technology, and we are also started molding their mind with that technology since the childhood, which you're saying, right? किशोरा अवस्था या जिस भी अवस्था में आप देख लें, तो हम बच्चों को इन डिजिटल डिवाइस के साथ ही हमने भी थोड़ा घेर रखा हुआ है. उनको पढ़ाना लिखाना भी हमने, ऑनलाइन क्लासेस आ गई हैं. जब स्पेशली कोविड टाइम आया और हमारा भारत जहाँ पे पढ़ाई हम फिजिकली करते थे, ऑफलाइन करते थे, सडनली सभी बच्चों के हाथ में मोबाइल फ़ोन आ गए. अब उन मोबाइल फ़ोन्स को उनको ये भी नहीं पता था कि कैसे ऑपरेट करना है, और जूम क्लासेस हो रही हैं, बहुत सारी क्लासेस हो रही हैं. तो कहीं ना कहीं ये डिजिटल लिटरेसी तो थी ही, एक शिफ्ट भी था, ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन भी था, बट वो उससे कहाँ जा रहे हैं एक्सपोजर में, और कहाँ उनका ये सोशल एंगेजमेंट भी ऑनलाइन गेमिंग में आ गया, ये हम कहीं कंट्रोल नहीं कर पाए.
And ma'am, just with regard to that, in the same context, we have a very pertinent question. So one of our viewers have asked us, we know a lot about the advantages of digital technology. So when a child is picking mobile phone to study, as you just mentioned that after COVID-19, it has become kind of mandatory. This online education. So if a child, they are using mobile phones to study, but they start playing games. So what should parents do in that case? Should we just be behind our kids, what they are doing, what they are not, check and control on the kids? Because that is also not possible.
आज का बच्चा कहता है कि give me a space.
Of course.
So ये space में ये एक challenge भी है कि how to keep a track. And to keep a track, there are various ways also. One is like, how much is the screen time, that how much time you're spending on the laptop screen or a mobile phone, what are things you're watching, that also I can check, and that is what is the parent control. Setting is in our mobile phones, in our laptop also, which we call as parent control. You can always see what your kid, teenage or whatever, the age is. If you're talking about the adult, definitely you're not going to see that, but when you're talking about the kids especially, who are very naive, not aware, and in this COVID time when the classes is online, what you're watching from the class and socializing, you can always have a check and balance to see that. And there's another something called, I always say that in Google Play Store we have something called as, we add our email IDs, right? So you can add another email ID also. So let's say if your kid is enjoying that game and crossing one level to another level, enhancing a skill in a different way, so you also have a check and balance that it should not be land up in purchasing any things, right, from the Play Stores. So you will always get a notification also. And then in Google Play Store also we have one more feature called as authentication. So you must explore that. Probably in this class also, take out your mobile phone, go to the Google Play Store. On the right hand side we have this click settings and go on that authentication and have a check balance of that authentication also. If a kid is started purchasing something which is not in your, you're not aware of, that is very dangerous. That what he is purchasing, what games, what the different levels we have, activities he is doing, there are arms and the other things are available. If somebody started doing that, purchasing that, so you have a check and balance, you will get a notification, right? Without your permission, he will not able to purchase anything online from the Play Store also. So that check and balance is also there in the settings.
So at the same time, it is important. Like the child should not know that you are behind the child.
Yes.
But it's important to take care of what they are doing.
Definitely, Simran. That's what I said. Give that space.
Yeah.
But with that space, have that check and balance, which you know what is that.
So I should say, as we talk, not only hard work, it has to be smart work.
It is mostly a smart work.
So okay, let's proceed in the conversation. We have certain other questions also. We might include them later.
Right. So now I'll take you, what is this, especially the risk associated with the online gaming. Definitely the one question which has come up related to the addiction. Then second is cyberbullying. You don't know whom you're talking, right? The identity, if you disclose, that can be misused and you may be bullied based on that. So that is a cyberbullying. Then the risk of losing money if you started purchasing something online, right? There is a risk, you crossing a levels, you started betting also, we make a group, online groups, and then to chase that group with another, we started betting, let's say if I'll, cross this level, we will earn this much money. So we started losing money out of it. Then there are ways from this mobile apps, there are so many, fake apps also, with which the malware may infect your system and take out your all confidential information. Privacy problem, hidden fees are also associated at times. So these are the challenges in your online gaming scenario. Moving ahead, especially when I mention in this COVID time, right, we shift from our offline to the online and to socialize online. We started mostly, it is not just the teenage, but we can see that the most of the cases, if we see, it is less than 24 years of the group who are spending a lot of time for socializing on this mobile phones also, especially in the gaming part, right? So the gaming scams are also in the COVID time has gone up. Maybe it is related to the any third party website. We started getting apps or a free apps. There's nothing free in this world, but that directing gamers to the third party website, and your IP also may get targeted. A lot of phishing emails are coming and you get trapped into that phishing. Then a lot of people have started targeting group or the children's, and at times the avatars which you have also the fake kind of things are there. From that fake depiction, they intrude into your system also. So there are various ways that somebody can enter in your system. So important is the setting part of the Play Store also, but also it is very important to my audience to understand the games which you have in your game launcher. So whatever games you take from the Play Stores, right, go for the authentic Play Store. That is, you have a Google Play Store, Apple Play Store, Amazon Play Store, right? If you're using a PS5, PS4, that is a PlayStation, right, Xbox, these are the authenticate sources for the gaming. Gaming is for the skilling is good, but we have to again emphasizing to all my audience that check and balance is important. It shouldn't be converted into that addiction. I was mentioning about the digital crime in the era of metaverse. I know very well that many of my audience is well versed of this terminology also from this internet world of the third internet world which we're talking about, right? We're entering into the new 3D virtual world, from 2D to the 3D virtual world. And in this 3D virtual world, when we don't have control that, my avatars are playing with each other, not me, but my avatars are playing and interacting with each other. We have also reported cases where there is a sexual harassment to the avatars also, right? And how you're going to handle those cases, again, is very challenging. So these are the upcoming challenges. Now, I also tell my audience it is not the threats which are associated, but we have to be very, talk about the safety also when you're downloading any games. So get your apps from the reliable sources, as I have mentioned. Avoid any third-party stores. Site downloading, especially the Android users, right? So when we have a Android apps, .apk apps are available, so many website where you get the South downloading apps, you get those apps also. There are a lot of games are available, and that may become problematic for your own mobile phone. Be aware of the copycats. So you have so many apps, and you may find there is a duplicate apps are also available. The game apps, the apps of the games are also available, and you're not aware that which one is the original and which is the masquerading one. So it is very important when you're downloading, it should be from the reliable source. And the second is the developers who has developed. Authentic source is important to understand the review, the stars which you say, the rating, reviews, especially the briefing about the games. This game is for what is the age criteria of the game. So those things are very important to understand. Another is check out app permission. You always see the app permission. If the app is asking, I can access your contact, your camera, your messages, your SMS. So check out those app permission also. If you're playing a game, I think we need not to give a permission to that. Camera is not required, the contact list is not important, SMS and messages are not important, not giving access to other apps also which we are using. So that check and balance is also important when you are downloading any games. This is something also which we called as external cheat application is also available. Especially, I'm sure cheat word may understand those who are the gamers, right?
Yeah, cheat codes.
Yes, cheat codes. So, right, why we use cheat codes, Simran? Any idea?
Yes, I have not played much of those games, but I think to be successful in a game, something
Absolutely,
like that.
Absolutely. So to remain successful in the game, and that is what is the winning spirit, you started using this cheat codes.
Yeah.
And at times, this cheat codes may be harmful to you, right? So probably they stop your antivirus, disable your antivirus and all those things, settings, and which may end up again as a problem for you. Do not reveal your personal identification. Generally, we say the personal information identity, email, location, address, name, whom you're talking, you don't know. Today, I'm talking to the Simran, and Simran is here, right? If Simran is an avatar, and if it is an online, I really don't know. Simran is a Simran or Surbhi is a Surbhi. So that is what is.
Because nowadays, it's very difficult to differentiate between right and wrong.
Yes. Right and wrong, yes. But if something is virtual, so
Yeah.
I cannot rely that is authenticate, right? So you have that check and balance also when we're talking about, and use a firewall. Settings are very important. Your router and everything is very important to have check and balance. Now this slide is very important. You must see this, and I must say to my audience, explore this, something which is together, right?
The slide.
So this is when we are using a Google Play Store, right? And in Google Play Store, we have something called as.
And if we try to place that slide on the screen so that our viewers could view it. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Simran. So this is, if you just open your Google Play Store, in a Google Play Store, right click and you will get this option. As you know, you have your email ID for your Google Play Store, and you can add another email ID. Let's say if your kid is playing on your mobile phone, right, you can add another email ID. So if the kid is doing any kind of a payment, you will get a payment notification, right? So this is especially again a check where we have seen in a lot of cases where the kids is playing a game on the mobile phones of the parents, and he started purchasing so many things, the payments and the subscription, and the parents are not aware. And then they come up with this problem that this much has debited from my account, this much has gone from my account. So it has not gone actually. So it is something like you are not aware it was paid. So how you can have, you add another email ID, you will immediately get a notification and you will not share the OTP also. Another is you can see the setting parts. In settings we have something called as the family. The last one you can say that is the parent control, right? The parent guide, where you can have a check and controls of this. You can always see what kind of a stuff the kid is looking into this. Look your profile. And then another is you can also see we have a biometric authentication, right? So you have authentication, biometric authentication. So if your kid is wanted to download something from the Google Play Store, so again authentication is required, and that check and balance is in your hand. Once you approve, then only the kid can download that game. So these are the small ways and means, check and control in place. If you're giving your mobile phone, or the mobile phone is with the kids, with this parent control, with this authentication, with that adding an email ID, you have a check and balance where you can keep an eye on your kids. So that's a small setting option.
So I think with that we have covered the important areas regarding the topic.
Absolutely.
Okay, great. So we have a lot of time to answer all your queries, and I would request our viewers to please come up with your questions regarding this session, because we still have around 14 minutes left. So let's keep this time for Q&A. So if you allow me.
Yeah, please.
Okay, so I'll go through the third question of our session.
Yeah.
So one of our viewers have asked us, what do you think, should games have regulations or restrictions on them just like films, like under 18, 18 plus, you buy? What do you think about that?
Yeah, so like I have mentioned, when we are downloading a game, there is an age also. So have a check and balance the age category. There are games above 18, there are games, even the kid is 6 years and he's just downloading. He's not aware about that. So then there is an age limit which we have to check. When we're talking about regulation, yes, that is what we are all talking about here, across pan-India question and worldwide also. What is that check and balance and regulation is important, because we started gaming as a skilling. If it is a skilling, upskilling, that's okay, right? But if it is adding to some criminal, this cyber crime we're talking about, then the regulation is important.
But at the same time, I think there are not all the games that are involved in that kind of scrutiny.
Absolutely, not all.
Yeah.
So therefore, I told you initially that how you have this preventive measures, बोलते हैं ना घटना घटने के बाद करने से क्या फायदा, you have to have the prevention is the better than, and the prevention is, I think, is at the time of COVID also is the best answer for everything. So that prevention is the safety tips which I have given.
Well, thank you for answering it so appropriately for our viewers. Okay, the next question is that students don't play video games in physical classes or school. So this is a question from a teacher.
Okay.
Okay. So they used to play it at their homes, which is quite obvious. So do teachers have a big role to play in this?
See, I think the whole society has a major role into this.
We are all stakeholders.
Yes, we all are the stakeholders, and I think therefore we are telecasting this digital gaming pros and cons today, not only to the kids, the teachers, the parents, and everyone, to the society. I think we are here together as a stakeholders to understand that what is the problem in this and how as a society we can educate our kids, because the education system is also gone online, right? So the teacher also has to sensitize the kids that what is the check and balance if you are there on the digital medium, right, for your social activities and engagement, how much is that important?
So when we are discussing about checks and balances, we have a question with regard to that. So one of the parents have asked us, I'm not that tech savvy.
That's okay.
I'm not quite comfortable with the mobile phone, and apart from just calling my relatives, I'm not aware of other areas. So in that case, how to figure out what my child is doing? Because the parent itself is not aware of the technicalities.
So I must compliment the parent, the
for
confidence.
Accepting that.
Yes, and I think most of us are like this only, most of the parents are like this, because you just call to socialize, very well that our socializing is different. But to control your kids, I think with the kids we also have to educate ourselves in this digital medium, and that if you're using a mobile phones, right, you have to understand what is that Play Store. So that digital education is not only for the kids, but now it is important for the parents. And therefore, we have come up with another concept which we called as digital parenting. So that digital parenting is the parent also has to, increase the level of awareness in the digital literacy, and then only you will come into the category of the digital parenting.
All right, thank you again for answering that. Then there's a request made by one of our viewers. They would like you to reflect on the concept of cyberbullying.
Okay. So when I'm talking about cyberbullying, right? Cyberbullying, especially social media. Our kids are on Instagram, right? Snapchat, to the Facebook. They are available everywhere, right? So again, cyberbullying, whom you're talking, right? Whom you're talking, what you're talking, and especially when there is a cyber crime bullying, I urge to the students and to the teachers also, especially the kids, if you're facing any kind of a bullying on this digital medium, social media platform, through an email, any on the digital medium, you please speak to your teacher and to the person whom you have a confidence, because reporting is important. Understanding the issue is also important in cyberbullying, and there is a ways of handling it. The first way is you speak to someone whom you have a trust. Share your problem. Do not restrict that problem to yourself, but to share. Probably the problem may resolve. And then there are the other ways of handling. We have counseling is the first way. If counseling doesn't work out, right, then there are ways of reporting, handling, that comes later. But my urge to the student is, if there is a bullying, do not restrict that bullying to yourself, but to share with whom you have a confidence, teacher, parents, friend. And then by counseling, most of the time we resolve this issue. If counseling doesn't work, the level is very high, then we get it into the legal part also.
And with that, I would like to add, I think it's also the responsibility of parents and teachers as a whole to provide children the kind of ambience or the environment where we can just simply go up and tell our parents, this is something that is disturbing me. Because that communication gap is so common.
Absolutely, Simran.
Between parents and children nowadays.
Absolutely. So I think, Simran, you are now understanding the problem from the both the ends. Yes, that trust and confidence is also very important, because at times, most of the times, you know, I've seen the cases when come to us. So the kids, they don't have a confidence on the parents and the teachers to share. So that is what the kids may become a victim of cyberbullying most of the time.
Of course, and of course that is something that needs to be addressed.
Yes.
Now we have a slightly different question. Here we were discussing about students, but there's a question or a stance from one of our viewers. Sometimes it is not only the students, but adults also. The ones who are quite less vulnerable, that they become addicted to some kind of a video game. So what to do in that case when a person is old enough to understand that this is not right?
Okay, so when you're saying old enough, so we're talking about
this was basically a wife talking about her husband.
Okay, not an issue. So, see, a wife talking about an husband, it's a personal matter also. But yes, gaming, again, you know, as I've told you, it is not the teenage and the
it is not age specific.
It is not, no more age specific, especially COVID time. We have seen the people of the age of 30, 35, they are also, you know, they're socializing with the gamings, you know, that's a social activity actually. So socializing and game khel rahe hain and ignoring other things. So again, a wife wanted to see that why my husband is busy in this particular thing, if I can understand the question, you know, going straight away. So again, you can discuss that. Again, the method is same, what we have given to the kids, that detox, digital detox, how much time, what activity, everything can be check and balance. So that is the answer.
So there are certain things that we need to unlearn right from the beginning.
Yes, absolutely, you can say unlearn also, but when I say in digital, you know, area, we have to learn a lot.
There's still a long road to
It's
cross.
a long way to go. We have just started, and so many things has come up right in front of us.
Yes.
And nobody is there to guide you, which is the right way. And probably a session like this, we can discuss more on this,
to create
and
more awareness about that's why we conduct such regular sessions for all our
Wonderful.
viewers.
I must compliment your team. That's hygiene is important to understand.
Well, you should also compliment to our praiseworthy viewers who come
absolutely raising a lot of very pertinent question today, you know. And
so we'll take one last question because we are not left by much time in the conversation. So sometimes it's also the peer pressure that is the reason why kids start playing different sorts of games, because when you are not playing them, you are not cool enough for the class. So how to handle that?
I request you, can you repeat the question, that playing games?
Peer pressure, that is the concern that has been raised here by a student, I suppose, that peer pressure is also the reason why we start playing certain sorts of games, because if we are not doing that, then we are left out.
Oh, it is everywhere. It is not just to this game only. I think, you know, peer pressure is everywhere, from classroom to the performance,
academics,
to everywhere, right? When it was something of physical games, also outdoor games, there is a peer pressure. And if you remember, I've told you, you know, you going to the gaming by the peer pressure, by the family and other things only, that let's come together and play this game, right? So peer pressure is there. But again, where to cut off, one has to understand that peer pressure, or I think, Simran, you also have faced during the college time.
We all have faced.
Yes, we all face at times in our professional life also. But where to balance, that is important. We have to educate our kids that peer pressure is there. Okay, this much is okay. But right after, beyond this, again, you...
Only when it is not harming us. When it is allowing us to be the better version of ourselves, till then I think it's fine. But after that, we need to consult someone.
The consulting is important, no doubt, but peer pressure is there, which you cannot control. It is a society, right? And how much pressure you have to take, that one has to understand, and that counseling of the parent is important here.
Well, I must say that was a wonderful session. I have really enjoyed.
I'm too enjoying the session with you, especially.
Yes, we would have loved to continue the session, but still very less time has been left.
but I really enjoyed, and a lot of wonderful question has come up, especially related to the gaming. So I must compliment all the parents, the kids who have raised question today and making this session as very interactive.
Thank you so much. So here we were in conversation with Dr. Surbhi Pandey, who raised different issues, who raised different answers, have answered your questions regarding digital games, the risk and the different ways through which you can combat them. So I would like to inform you that corresponding to this, we also have sessions on 12th of August where we will be discussing about digital games and the financial vulnerability that are associated with that. And on 19th of August 2022, the topic would be digital games, physical and socio-emotional well-being. So don't forget to tune in with our sessions, and after these sessions we also have a post-session activity for all of you. You know, it's the quiz, and you keep on asking us from where do we form the queries or the questions of the quiz. So it is right from our sessions. For in the beginning, if you start watching our sessions, this complete 1 hour session, then I'm sure that you will be able to answer all the questions that have been posed in front of you in the quiz. Now, one more thing I would like to inform to our viewers, where you can find all the details regarding our session. So this is the link of our website. It is www.cit.nic.in. So here, right on your screen, you can see a number of options. All you have to do is click on events, and here is the third last option that says workshop/training. And here there are 3 kinds of activities that have been highlighted for you. The first one says current activity. So from 3rd August till 19th August, as I have just displayed the sequence of events for you, the program is titled as Cyber Jagrookta Diwas series. The theme for August 2022 is Safe Digital Gaming. Just click on it. This blue one is quite accessible. Now, why are we conducting these sessions, and about Indian Cybercrime Coordination Center, and in order to deal with cyber crimes in a coordinated and comprehensive manner. This is the new scheme that has been launched by Ministry of Home Affairs. Then more about the theme, as we all know that digital gaming, it has become a part and parcel of the students' life, as they provide learners with a fair amount of fun, enjoyment, teamwork and collaboration. Then the objectives of our training, and the best part is who all can participate in the sessions, whether it's students, teachers, teacher educators, parents, administrators, general public. Our quiz, our sessions are open for all of you. And if you haven't watched the very first session that we conducted on 3rd of August, so here you can see the day 1 and the videos and the links, they are available on our website as well, and also on NCRT official. And on the second day, that is today Friday, we discussed about the risk and how to combat the risks that are associated with digital games. Then for the following 2 days, that is on 12th of August and 19th of August, we have these topics for you. How you can participate in the quiz, there are certain steps that have been mentioned for you. The first one says registration, then watch our live training sessions, you can participate in the post-session activity. Shortly the quiz link will also be updated over here, and as you all know that we would love to hear more from you about our session. So here is a feedback form. Again, if you have any of the queries, then there is a website link that is flashing on your screens, and also our mail ID, that is cybersafety@ciet.nic.in, and also a contact number, that is 8800440559. Once again, ma'am, thank you so much for being a part of this conversation, apprising our viewers about these minute but significant details.
Thank you, Simran. And before we end up this session, I must urge once again to all the audience that I always say to the kids especially, have one dost in your life, and that is the cyber dost. And that is what is the Twitter handle account of I4CMHA, Cyber Dost. First log into that. You're exploring too much in this digital medium, have one more dost in your kitty, and that is the cyber dost. If anything happens to you, must consult to your teacher, to your friends and to your parents. And we also have cybercrime.gov.in website where you can report your cybercrime. And I think prevention is the best answer for every type of a crime, whether it is the digital world or whatever it is, right? So thank you, Simran, for inviting me here, and thank you, my audience.
Thank you so much for putting that so beautifully in words for our viewers. And I am sure that our viewers will take a note of that. And thank you. With that note, I would like to request you to please stay being a part of NCRT Official. Our upcoming session is Sahyog. Now it's time to wrap up this session, but we have a lot of sessions for all our viewers. So keep connected and keep watching PM eVidya channels. Namaskar.